Good morning, everyone, or good evening. I'm Carneros, and welcome to Playable Worlds. Today, I have Natalie Moreno with us, and I'm going to introduce her in just a second. We are doing a weekly dev interview and talking about Stars Reach. Thank you very much. And if you have questions about our conversation, about Natalie, about the Stars Reach game, about Playable Worlds, please put them in the chat and we'll answer them as we go. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Thanks for
Busy
joining us. I
morning.
appreciate it. You don't do too many of these interviews, do you?
No.
That's fine. You're a little bit nervous, and I like it. It's fun. Don't worry about it. Tell us what you do for Playable Worlds.
So I am the senior tools engineer at Playable Worlds, and I get to wear a lot of different hats and help out wherever's needed to meet deadlines. So for now, I've been doing a lot of gameplay engineering.
Gameplay engineering and senior tools engineer, which is a very cool title. Um, what in a regular old software company, what does a senior tools engineer do? What do they specialize in?
We make tools to make everybody's workflow a lot easier. So we'll take a look at their workflow, where there's bottlenecks, what can we do to make their workflow faster, what's slowing them down, and we just make their life better and faster to get their work done.
Wouldn't that be nice? I happen to know a community manager right now who's pulling his hair out over his tools today because they're not working for him. Everyone say good morning also to Thomas and Larrick, who are helping us on this live stream. You can't see them in the camera, but Thomas is the stream engineer right now, and Larrick is doing gameplay. And thank you. And they're also keeping me on topic if I stray off in some weird direction. So yeah, building tools sounds fantastic. And as a longtime game dev, I know that the quality of your tools makes a big difference in how fast you can create content, how good your content is, how many different variable, flexible things you could do. It's a huge thing, huge thing. Thank you. But yeah, we are a small startup, aren't we? And we
Yeah.
do all wear multiple hats. And so you're a gameplay engineer at the moment. Excellent. What is something you worked on this week in the game?
This week I
And
worked
I'm
on
cheating because I know.
I
This will
worked on
get
the
some people
invert
excited.
camera y-axis. So that is now in the escape menu. And
Did
now
y'all
I'm
hear
working
that?
on
Inverse camera y axis. That is going to make certain people really happy who find the mouse to work exactly the opposite of what they expect, probably because they trained too many flight simulators when they were young. But yeah, it's if you're not into this, it won't mean anything for you. But for those people who need this feature, this is the world for them. We've heard many requests. They're going to be so happy. And they actually don't have any idea this is coming until now. So thank you, Natalie. Yeah.
yeah.
Hooray. Is there going to be a checkbox to turn it on and off in the escape menu?
In the escape menu, it's off by default, and then there's a button next to it that says on. So off or on, and you click on if you want it inverted.
Perfect. Perfect. That is excellent. Okay. And someone tell Hooby in general chat that he can just type his questions there too, and I'll try to answer them. And then let's see. Maybe he actually can hear this. I have no idea. Yeah. So what are you going to work on next week? Do you know? Or what are you working on
Um,
today? If
I'm working on it this week, but it'll go into
okay.
next week for sure. I'm working on secure trade. So I'm
Secure
working with
trade.
UI and design to get that all the way that it should be. But it's
Okay, thanks,
temporary,
Hooby.
because the UI will get updated later.
Yeah. So it's the first version of Secure Trade, which we fully expect to change the UI on later. But this is going to be a very valuable next step because this is one of the stepping stones to get to the player run economy, which is a big deal to me. I'm very into player run economy, and I'm excited about secure trade. Yeah, very nice. Woohoo. I mean, we have gifting right now. You can walk up
Yeah.
behind someone and they might not even know that you've clicked on them and you've gone and you've pulled something out of your inventory and snuck it into their bag. And the next time they look, they may or may not even notice that they now have a pile of 12 coconuts. But it's a lot of fun to do that. But we still need secure trade, not that. And so thank you very much. Um, does player run economy mean UGC like Roblox or UEFN eventually? Okay, those are two completely separate things. You know, that's like saying, does a pizza restaurant coming into town mean we're also going to open up industry and manufacturing in this area? Those are two separate things. I'm not ready to speak about user generated content like Roblox or Unreal Engine, Fortnite, and that stuff. No. Nope, nope, nope. Not ready to talk about that. However, player run economy is a big deal. It gives you so many more reasons to log in and so many more benefits for playtime. And yeah, it both broadens your world and uh, makes certain things easier. You don't have to necessarily go find everything yourself. If you need uh, anti-gravium, you can ask around and see if anyone has some they'll sell to you or trade to you. Yeah. Uh, Thank you for taking on these huge, well, not huge, but foundational, base necessities that we absolutely need. Thank you very much. Uh, is this your first job in the games industry?
No, it's actually my second. I did an
Nice,
internship in mobile gaming while I was still a grad student.
nice, nice. And how did you get started in this crazy games industry?
I think it started way even before I started working in industry. I just had a passion for finding games or like playing games. And so whenever we had a free project at school, I would make a game. Even for my master's project, I made a game. And I think that was what led to me getting that first internship in gaming.
Nice. What I mean, we didn't have games to study when I was in college. What did you study in school?
My bachelor's, I got it in computer science. And then after that, I wasn't quite like, I don't think this is what I want to do. I want to combine it more with like art. And so I got a multimedia engineering degree from the Media Arts and Technology department, where we got to combine art and engineering, any form of
Nice.
art. So there was even
Nice.
performance or music that you could combine with engineering. It was a
Wow.
lot of fun.
Do you have artistic skills?
Um, some, but I don't
We're
practice
not.
them as much as the engineering side.
I hear you. I hear you. That's great if you could do both. Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
You mentioned playing games. What what are games that made a big impact on you?
I think the games that made the biggest impact on me were the games I played growing up. So it was a lot of like Zelda Majora's Mask, Zelda Ocarina of Time, a lot of the Pokemon games from the handheld. Um, on computer, it was Nox and Diablo. Those were the games kind of that I started with. Oh, actually, I did a lot of educational games too, a lot of Carmen Sandiego. Those are a lot of fun. I got to explore rainforests that I couldn't actually visit in person. So that
Nice.
was very inspiring.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Um and wow. Okay. Nice. Um, is there a game you're playing now when you're not at work?
Not as much, but I do like to play over vacations with my brother, his wife, and a friend. We all get together. We play Don't Starve together.
Don't Starve. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say Mario Party, but yeah, that's good.
we play that too, because they have the games, and so whatever's around, we just play
Yeah,
to vary.
very cool. All right. Uh, so, what's something you want to work on in the future on Stars Reach that's not yet on your schedule, but you hope to get a chance to work on it? Something cool.
Um, so for me, I get a lot of uh, fulfillment from working and having an impact on others' lives, making it easier, or seeing other players enjoy the content I'm adding. I think that's a lot of fun. I think helping out Megan and getting her tools up and running is definitely something I want to work on eventually.
Very nice. Very nice. Um, Natalie, what is something that you look for in someone who wanted to be on your team as a tools engineer? What if you were hiring someone to help you?
I
One
would look
hopes that,
at Oh, I would look at how they communicate. Communication is very key because when you're designing tools maybe for an artist, somebody who's not necessarily in your fields. And so you need to be able to talk to them, understand them, and then come up with a design that works for them. And then you kind of go back and forth. You cannot get offended by feedback. If they want something a little different, then you just tweak it and make sure that it fits their needs.
yes,
So a
some
lot of that.
people can't tell you in advance really what they need. They have to try it a little bit and then come back and say, no, 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 no.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of that, yeah. Sometimes an artist comes up to me, and they are like, "Oh, I want a tool that does this." And I ask them, "So what do you imagine it to be like?" And they're like, "I don't know, just give me something." So I'll come up with a design for them that I think will be
yeah.
helpful and useful to them. And then after that, sometimes it's perfect the way it is, and sometimes they ask for a few little tweaks of things that, they didn't tell me they needed before and suddenly they need, or and, it's just however they need things to work.
All right. Thank you, Nagelum Void, for that question. Appreciate it. All right. And Drake, Dr. Drake Villout points out that the economy, hearing the economy is being worked on is great, but I think professions are foundational to getting going. He says, I have seen is not enough combat players or reasons for players to engage in combat, so the gatherers and profession players are struggling. A little bit on that. Secure trade and then the economy will have more reasons for players to go out and do combat on these things because they're harvesting resources, crafting resources, industrial resources, raw materials from those drops, which will then be now valuable, tradable, usable, and can bring them back to the people who really need them. And the whole economy gets, the whole community gets more efficient and can do more things and can prepare better tools for those guys to take out, etc. It's a start. We're getting there. Uh, bear with us, Dr. Villout. This is on the path to what you want. Thank you. Okay. And then Ratchet says, I'm interested because I'm a dev, but also big long-term fan and backer. Speaking of games dev school, Theory of Fun was curriculum for me many years ago. Yeah, if you're studying game design at all, either because you want to be a designer or because you're a gameplay engineer or an artist or uh, one of the a technical artist or something, and you want to understand the design function better, a Theory of Fun, Raf's book is a seminal work on the subject. You can get it at Amazon. It is they're used copies and stuff too, and it's Very, very helpful. Yeah. He has a couple other things there too, but A Theory of Fun is the one that made him famous. Well, it's the most famous of his books. Is it required reading to work on Stars Reach? No. The required reading part though is all the lore documents. Um, did you see we put out part 3 of a lore story today? Um, it's I think it's called Grounded Part 3. It's the story of the Fae and how our introduction of the Fae to the Stars Reach universe. I recommend going back and reading through Grounded parts 1, 2, and 3 and getting the whole story together. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas linked it in chat for us. You can't tell it's Thomas because it looks like Play Stars Reach, but that's him. And thank you. Yeah, that's the more required reading, if you ask me. We need to all understand the feeling of what we're working on, and Raph's lore stories are fantastic. They're fun and they're visual for me, and they're great. Yeah. Dr. Valant says, I love hearing economies being worked on, but I think, oh no, that we already saw that. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, and Hubie liked postmortems better than A Theory of Fun. If you ever get invited to a postmortem meeting in the games industry, you should go because those are great. Those are interesting meetings where you'll hear things you'll never hear anywhere else. When I went to work for CCP, the makers of EVE Online, my first day on the job, my first meeting of the day was a postmortem on the Dominion expansion, EVE Online Dominion, which of course dates me a little bit, but because I think that came out in winter of 2009. But it was a very interesting first meeting at a new company where we talked about all the things that worked and didn't work about putting out that expansion. And it was a good warning for what to think about before the next expansion. But yeah, those are great meetings. Sometimes the Game Developer Conference will feature a post-mortem on a famous game. And then folks will get up and do sort of a public post-mortem with people and admit to things that they screwed up along the way and stuff. And those are, those recordings can sometimes be available. It's great. Great, thank you. Jade's asking, when can we expect a roadmap? And we are actually working on something like that. I don't know when Dave Georgeson is going to publish it, but he's working on one right now. And I was asked to bring some requirements to a meeting for that next week. So it won't be done this week, but people are working on it. And Lat Stitch Plan from Bread said, I think the devs working 24/7 towards 24/7 servers are a big priority, and this will help a lot. Yeah. Knowing permanence is not where we're at in the dev cycle leads to less play. Yeah, exactly. By the way, we are working on our next set of update notes, test notes. We just finished them today. I think we're going to hold them a couple days before we release them because I think the patch won't go live until next week. But we make a statement in there about our approach to resetting the servers now. We're pushing that out. We're not going to, let me read exactly what he said. Chotto matte kudasai. Okay, please note, however, that our intention now is to do fewer resets of the world and characters. We do not intend to reset the servers again unless A, we have to because the new features and code we add aren't backwards compatible, or B, your worlds get so torn up that they're no longer useful and need to be reset. So those are the two reasons we would reset things now. But we're going to try very hard not to do resets as long as we can. So that's part of what will get messaged to you next week. This was a sneak peek today, though. Yeah, McGriddle Cakes is kind of right. At the moment, watching the stream, it sometimes looks more like a survival open world game or something like that than it does look like an MMO. We feel the same way, and we're working on that. That's part of what's going on here, including part of the secure trade thing. Thank you, Natalie. Yeah. So, what do you think about the upcoming Switch 2, Natalie? Are you going to get one? Do you ever play Switch games?
Very not a lot. I do have a Switch, so maybe I'll try it out. It'd be fun just to see like what changed and how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a Switch also. I got it mostly to load extra stuff on my Pokemon Go for my mobile. Because there's some fun things you could do from the Pokemon there, and I pretty much only used it for that. A little bit of just playing Pokemon on the Switch too. Um, but yeah, I'm interested to see what the launch title lineup will be like and stuff like that. We're pretty
Yeah,
close, and the word in the industry is that game dev companies are scrambling to try to get more Switch dev kits so that they can, ramp up their offerings. If you don't know all the lingo in game development, a dev kit is a special version of a console that's set up to be just for a developer to work with. So it'll plug into your computer and you'll do your work on the computer, but put it onto and test on this console thing next to you. So you have your computer, the monitor and keyboard, and the dev kit, and a TV screen next to you. And the dev kit speaks to the TV screen, and then you build things and dump them in and look at it there, play it with a control pad, and go back and forth. Yeah. Or can you explain it better, Natalie?
I haven't tried one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Uh, they're fun. They're fun. Sometimes they also have test kits, which are modified versions of dev kits that are just for taking finished things and they're for the QA department to work with to test a game pre-release. It doesn't have all of the circuits and abilities of the dev kit, but it will at least not require decryption of encrypted content like the commercial units do. So QA can use it for stuff early. Because one of the last things that happens when you design for a console is you finish it, you encrypt it, you place it on media, and now, or not, and then now it's ready to go. But the commercial units all expect something to be encrypted, and they have to decrypt it to play it, and it won't play anything that's not. It makes it harder to side load things in there, etc. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was Dazzle Sunstrider is right. That was the first leak of the stream um, about the uh, upcoming changes for next week. I don't think we even have a name for. Oh yeah, we do have a name. Okay, cool. I'll leak that too. The name of the next, the overall name of the next patch notes, I think, is going to be World Reset, unless we change it before Tuesday. But I think this is going to debut on Tuesday, something like that. We'll see. Okay, what is the one of the tools in the game that Natalie found really hard to develop? What's something you worked on that you found was a pain in the neck, Natalie?
Megan's tools. I've worked on it briefly.
Oh,
There was because she works like with a node editor, right, to create all the worlds, to generate the worlds. The lines between them were straight, so it was hard to tell where the lines were going. So I made it into like a curved kind of line, so it was easier for her to work with.
wow. Wow. Okay, you guys might remember we interviewed Megan, the designer who is our world builder. She not only builds worlds, but she builds rule sets for the future uh, world generator tool that will be coming. That probably Natalie will end up working on as well. But yeah, so yeah, that's very cool.
I think a lot of the
Bork the
challenge
Builder.
with that is crashes. You have to wait for it to reload, and that it's a pain sometimes when things crash a lot to get work done.
Okay, help me with this next question because I don't know yet. Let's see. Bork the Builder. Hi, can you explain a bit more about how you plan to implement contracts and social tools? For example, doing a job in exchange for currency. I think you mentioned this could work on a guild to guild basis too. Okay, we still need to implement a currency, which we have not done yet. So the secure
Yeah, not yet.
trade that Natalie's working on is item for item, not item for currency right now. But when currency is available, it will plug into this system. Um, the contract system uh, will be pretty basic in the first version, and it will be a case of here, what do I want? What objects do I want? What quantity of those objects? Am I do I want it brought here? Where do I want them? Do I want them there or here? Who is it open to? Is it open to anyone? Is it open to my guild? Is it, you know, uh, is it, who's eligible? Is it to a single person? I want to make this contract just for Natalie, or just, something like that. My brother's playing or something like that. And then I'll have to decide what am I going to offer in appreciation for this quid pro quo, and then there might be a section that says, what kind of security guarantee do I need on this? For example, if I'm asking you to move something valuable, 1,000 rubies from here to there, am I going to ask you to put a deposit on the contract that is held in escrow with the contract that will pay back to you if you deliver on time, but will pay to me if you don't deliver on time? That kind of thing. So those kinds of guarantees reduce some of the social friction because now you don't need as much trust of the person you're working with. You don't need to know them as well to work with them. It's actually really sweet when you can build that kind of stuff in. For a guild to put out a request for another guild to fulfill, I haven't seen a design for that yet. I've never seen another game do that either. I've seen where the guild puts out a request, for things that the guild needs, but I haven't, or a person's put out a request to their guild and put a special rate on it that might not be the market rate, but is generous to their own guildmates, etc. Yeah, that kind of thing. And those can be really fun if you want to build like uh, a more complicated Secret Santa uh, gift at Christmas time. People will take whatever tools are available and craft such interesting, often creative adventures for people, whereupon they receive their Secret Santa gift. You watch, people will do cool stuff with this. I hope we did a good job, Bork. Control Chaos Gaming. What tool are you looking forward to working on for a feature that is not in the game yet?
For a feature that's not in the game, I'm
Don't
not
worry too much
sure.
about leaking. Don't worry too much about leaking.
Oh, about leaking.
Yeah.
I think there's the way that we communicate of like restarting things, all that, because we have a tool
Oh,
in-house. That one might need a little help.
oh
And then
shoot,
the other
yeah.
one is Megan's tools. But other than that,
Yeah.
for now, I don't foresee anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right now, if we need to talk to everyone who's on the server, or a server, or all the servers, the tools are not very good for that.
Yeah, so I can see that
Yeah,
getting work, but as for
yeah,
like really far ahead things, not yet.
yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I would love to be able to tell people we have to restart the servers in 15 minutes, or please get somewhere safe, and don't bring that creature with you. And then, or tell them that we're starting a live stream over here, fireside chat or something. Come join us if you're not too busy. I love that pop up in the game for anyone who's playing. Or even something like, we're going to do something special for the next 60 minutes, double XP experiment, whatever. Yeah, tell everybody something. That might be fun. Okay, how is the game? And this is Sono Dark Smith. How is the game currency going to work? Will it be something like Bitcoin? Ooh, he said the B word. Um, will it be something like Bitcoin where each government can have their own coin and they can inflate, deflate their economies accordingly? No, 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 no. Ouch. First of all, there won't be any cryptocurrency or NFTs or something like that in here. But separately, the main currency inside the game, think of it as credits as opposed to gold. Think of it as credits. And credits can be traded between people, for doing things or for whatever reason, for gifting, etc. And you can buy things in the game from credits. If someone is selling um, furniture in a town, they're going to expect credits as the currency. That's going to be the normal currency we use during the day. Now it might change its name, but it'll be credits as what we're doing. I don't know what's going on with my camera focus. Apologies. Leave that back up for a second. Then secondly, imagine there will be a fancy store where you can buy things in. You could buy stripes for your pet robot cat, for example. I've just made that up. The art department are having heart attacks right now. There is no stripes for your robot cat, but just pretend with me. For that, you might need. Oh, we haven't said that word out loud yet. For that, you might need Solarians. We'll come back to Solarians later. But that would be a different thing. And Solarians are tradable. In EVE Online, they're like Plex, for example. In World of Warcraft, they're like WoW tokens. If you play EverQuest or EQ2, they're called Chrono. Things like that, if that gives you an idea. So anybody who is playing a game and wants something from the fancy store, can play the game, make some credits, trade them to someone for their Solarians, and they take the Solarians to the store. So anything that's in the cash shop can be purchased without any cash. You don't need a credit card. You don't need any kind of uh, you don't need any of that stuff. You could just go buy it without it. Is that Rooster Rubles? Is that whole chicken versus otter thing still going on here? Geez, people. All the chickens and the otters can be friends. Uh, Not yet, Hoobie, not yet. I don't want to go. Although I do like celery. Okay. All right. Baldrich has questions for Natalie. What are the biggest challenges in making tools for devs that work mostly from home? Are these tools inside a web app or something that needs to be installed locally? Is there tool communication between different departments? Like some artists creates a mesh and that other dev uses for their work. Are they sending these back and forth via Teams or Discord, or is there something like a pipeline tool for the dev team?
I don't think we have something like that at the moment. The tools that are there definitely communicate with everything that needs to. But in terms of my last job where I was doing tools, there was a pipeline and there was a format that every department had to make so that the next department could receive it. And so in that sense, you do have to take into account what the person that's receiving is going to get, and then design in that way. There's a lot of back and forth, a lot of communication. In our job, we do communicate either through Discord or we have another like chat system, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, where we just talk and like we send screenshots back and forth. My last job was also remote, at the end, like because of the pandemic. So yeah, just a lot of the times there's a lot of going into a Google Meet or something like that and screen sharing what the problems are and then just coming up with a solution for that.
Thank you. Hound asked if there was a command or to recall to his homestead. And then Nagelum explained, yeah, /camp works. I do want to point out that /camp will change in the next build of the game, and it will no longer work if you're on the aggro table of a creature nearby. So you
Sorry,
have to get out of
I
combat
implemented
first
that.
before you can /camp.
It was a request. I don't know that you can go to the homestead. Camp will take you to the camp, but maybe go to
Oh yeah,
homestead might be a good one. You do
yeah,
have a nav point for homesteads, though. I think that is coming up. That was, I think, last week.
yeah.
There's a homestead command that will toggle a waypoint to your homestead. So if it's on, it
A
goes off, off
big
goes
glowing
on.
beacon. Yeah, so you can look around and find your home. It only
Yeah,
works if you're
you'll
on the same planet, though, right?
correct. If it's on a different
Yeah.
planet, it'll just tell you you have a homestead on another planet. If it's on the current planet, you'll get a little nav point, kind of like the little boss icon that guides you in the direction towards your homestead.
Yeah.
And there's two. There's a camp one and there's a homestead one. So the camp one has like a little camp and the homestead has a little house.
Hoopy. 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 Okay, so let's back up here for a second. So next, I guess the next question is Madcap Warrior. So I know it's a player-run economy, but what's the origin points for credits? They have to come from somewhere, right? He's asking about the faucets in game design lingo. We have not revealed those yet. Well, I'm gonna hold off because I don't have enough of that picture yet to talk about that. Neither the faucets nor the sinks, for that matter, do I have a clear enough image yet on that. So we'll keep going. Sono Darksmith, that was my next question. How will currency flow through the system? Where does it come in and how does it go out? Yeah, it's a really good question, very important. I have to get Dave back on here one of these days, or Raph, to talk about those. That would be a good one. The new EU law might throw some wrench into those plans, though. Raccoon 420 is talking about a guidance document that not a new law, an EU guidance that was posted, where the part that he's referring to is next to in a cash shop in a store, if you're charging an alternate currency for something, you need to also give the price if they were paying in a real world currency. And it probably needs to be the real world currency of whatever country you're playing the game from at the time. So if it were for me, it would have to show in US dollars type thing. But that's just a guidance thing, and we're not there yet. So we haven't tried to design that user interface yet. But we will be taking that into account in our UI design. Yeah. Then there's chicken statement. Can I bring my Drake? There will be something you can bring your Drake to. That's a long time Eve Online meme, and I appreciate it. I'm gonna try to get Dave Georgeson to let us design one of the grav sleds to look like a Drake, and to let us and call it the Drake, and then you can bring your grav sled to something. We'll see, though. We'll see. I think it would be hilariously fun. Madcap Warrior. I assume one sync will probably be homestead maintenance, maybe. Yeah, that's a reasonable one that people think of. I have not heard anyone say that, so I don't want to repeat anything like that. But I haven't been in any meetings where we talked about faucets and sinks. So I'm out of my depth on that one. I have talked a lot about other kinds of monetization, but not that part. Did y'all talk about Kickstarter backer access yet? I can't wait to poke at this. BitDragon, your timing is excellent. Absolutely excellent. No one has brought that up. It needs to be brought up. And I want to address that now. We have not yet received the official transfer over from Kickstarter of here are all the people that backed you. Here's what they each signed up for and their add-ons and everything. The dogs decided to get frisky next to me. Hopefully you don't hear this. We have to then take that list and load them into our special new database we have set up with our partner firstlook.gg. And we will then be able to associate entitlements with each player through a sort of a account system. And once we can do that, then they'll send out a batch of instructions for how to, with a Steam key in each, for how to set them up. Please watch for any emails that come from firstlook.gg. It's not going to come from playableworlds.com. You may think, what is this? Some kind of a scam? Watch for this email address. Check your spam filter. That's where your instructions will be. I expect you to get it in the next week, something like that. I don't know the exact timing because we haven't received the handoff, but we're ready for it. And Ninja Nina, if you know her, she's on top of it. She's on top of this and watching for it like a hawk. What kind of snacks? I want the toothy puppy as a pet. Oh, what kind of snacks will be at the launch party? Chicken wings, dude. I'm still I haven't gotten out yet to go do the venue checks where I go to all the little nearby breweries and wineries and taste everything and get the vibe and the ambiance. If y'all live in San Diego County and want to go around with me on doing the site selection stuff, but I'm open to that. We can run around and go try a little something at each place. Why not? It's work or work related, but uh, it might, I don't. Pick me, Rod. Absolutely, absolutely. But it'll be somewhere probably northern San Diego County, uh, convenient to our normal stomping grounds, so you feel like you're in our hood when you come to do this thing, and it'll feel closer and thing. And we'll probably end up doing it at a brewery, and there'll be local beer, good local beer, and there'll be other things available too, maybe some local wines and non-alcoholic drinks, and then the food will be what comes out of the kitchens at the brewery, plus maybe a food truck or two out in front, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I, I I'm a moderate little foodie myself, and I can appreciate some of those things, and I'm probably going to be the one who plans the party. That's the plan at the moment. So it'll be good. There'll be something to eat. They'll like it. And Bit Dragon, the Kickstarter being slow part, here's the thing. When they go to bill everybody, some people will have some kind of a little problem with their billing. A credit card isn't happy or something, and they give them a week to fix it and make it right so they don't lose out on this chance for this limited option thing. So there's a reason why they build a little bit of time into the system for it. It's a good thing. It's it's not fun, but it's a good thing. Natalie, oh, Beanstalk Head's asking you, Natalie, what do you plan on doing in game at launch? If you've thought about it. Do you know what species you're going to play? Do you know what you're going to do when you get in?
So far, I've been playing as a Terran and Elione a lot. As for things to do, I tend to like to craft and like harvest resources. I'm not too much into like player killing and like fighting monsters as much, so I'm probably going to be more of like a gatherer, crafter, and then try to merchant off my stuff, the stuff I make.
Nice, nice. What about joining a guild?
Definitely. Oh, and having pets if that ever becomes a thing. I want
Yeah,
to tame some creatures.
yeah. Now, if you join a guild, are you going to tell them what you do for a day job?
No, I'll keep it secret.
Yeah. Nice. Well played. Well played.
I
I
might
remember
like
once
vaguely
I
say
didn't.
what I do, but not the
Yeah,
actual position.
yeah. Uh,
What were you saying?
okay. I did once one game I just told people who I was and everything. That was Age of Conan. And I wished afterwards I hadn't done that because every time I logged in, there was a list of customer service questions and things. I got banned. Can you help me? And things. My friend got banned. And yeah, no, that was not that fun. Yeah, Stone Brewery is Smitty is probably the one. Yeah, but I've been to fantastic events there before, so it has, but I still need to check because it might have changed. But anyway, need an EU launch party too. Ratchet, where in the EU should I hold such a party? I'm open to suggestions. Hoobie, you heard me, didn't you? Um, info guides. My 3-acre yard is available. It's in Southwest Michigan. Uh, okay, okay. Natalie, write that down. Uh, an EU-based party would be best, but I think it's too expensive for Playable Worlds to get some of the devs there. We do have some devs in Europe. We do have some devs in Europe already. Maybe we could split our forces. And then let's see. Like Thomas is on the stream right now, and I assure you, he is sitting in Europe as we speak, and probably has his microphone hooked up and could say something if he wanted to. Oh no, I see it muted. Okay. Uh, Pets, yeah, xenobiology taming, hopefully. Yeah, yeah. Half the company wants to do it, so yeah. How's the building update coming along? New tools or just new items to work with? You don't know anything about that yet, do you, Natalie?
Haven't seen any of that come up yet, no.
Okay. Sorry, Black Wolf, we do not know yet. Oh, we know there will be a PW guild. I don't know, maybe, maybe not. The CCP guild for EVE Online never did anything together. It was the only every now and then for a holiday or something, we would put a bunch of devs in ships and load the cargo hold up with fun goodies and go fly out somewhere and pretend to PvP with the players, but let us get killed. Honestly, you pretend or not, the players are better, so they could tear the devs apart, and they're so outnumbered. But and for that, we'd coordinate a little bit through the CCP Corporation, like they call their guilds there. But no one logged in and played that way. If they wanted to play, they played on a real production character that's secret with their friends. Okay. Ratchet saying he lives in the U.S., but maybe a Gamescom event. That's northern Germany, like near the border with the Netherlands, and that's Gamescom is so busy. It's like uh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe just thinking of plenty of EU friends who would love this game. But northern Germany or Germany and the Netherlands are kind of central locations that a lot of people can get to. Um, I need a tamed pet so large that I can put a dance platform on its back for mobile buffs. Uh, huh, yeah. All
It's
right.
an interesting
Write
idea.
that. Yeah, interesting idea. No one else has thought of it. No one else. And Weird Mama agrees with it. I like it. Will there be a working coord system, or is it being kept hidden on purpose? Oh, coordinates, maybe they mean.
Coordinates?
Coord means
Uh,
something else in Eve, so I had to I had to translate it from Eve for a moment. I think there is a coordinate system, and I don't know what our plans are for exposing it to players or exposing it to a UGC interface. I don't know.
I'm not sure if they're exposed. There are ways to get your coordinates, but I don't know if it's just a developer command or a player command, so I'm not sure. I'd have to take a
Yeah,
look.
let's not go there yet. Okay. Uh, yeah. Um, well, I'm sorry. Does Scepter have a mute button? I don't know. What is Scepter?
I don't
Uh,
know.
I hear you south. I can't hear you south of the wall. Been at Gamescom a few times. It's not what it used to be, sadly. Okay. A good chunk of my EU gamer friends are in the Netherlands or Germany. Yep. Um, and we have folks in Austria or Hungary, and they can get to Germany and the Netherlands fairly easily, at least the big towns. Players can use /loc at the moment. /LOC. That's from
That gives
Rodney.
you the
So
coordinates.
yeah, so that's real. Rod knows.
So, okay, so not just a dev command.
Or it's a dev command that players currently have access to. Okay. All right. All right. Need a Skyrim style compass. Okay. Maybe. Although you might have to build it first and equip it. Let's see. Ratchet agrees with Raccoon on the fact that Gamescom isn't what it was. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Hubi says it's a hard question to pick a central location for an EU launch party. But yeah, maybe Germany. I've probably been to Bavaria a dozen times, so I think of Bavaria first, but there are more central locations than that. All right. Okay, let's talk about what's coming up next on the calendar for a moment. Let me bring that. I didn't plan this part. I just thought of it now. Well, let me bring it up for a second. Let's look at the test calendar from the moment. Let's see. Tonight, there's another test. There's a test running now. Obviously, Larrick is showing it to us. There's another test tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific. There's a test on Saturday. We're not wiping between this morning, this evening, and Saturday. Then there's a test on Monday and Tuesday next week in the evening, our time. And then there's a test in the morning, but that's a new build day. I think Thursday looks like we'll get a new build. And then we're going to do a fireside next Saturday, a week from Saturday, and talk about the new build and some other stuff. So that'd be good. April 12th is a fireside, 9 a.m. Pacific. I have not yet announced who our dev and interview guest will be for next week either. So that's coming. That'll be fun. All right. Any other questions, guys, before we wind this down? You do have to craft a compass in Terraria. Cool. That's cool. Oh, thank you, Ratchet. Some people are in chat are happy with the Bavaria suggestion. Yeah. All right. Thank you all. Thank you for playing. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning into our little stream here and hanging out with me and Natalie. Thank you to Larrick and Thomas for helping with this stream. I mean, you can only see two of us, but there are four of us working on this. Trust me. And just have a great day. And I hope I get to see you in game on Saturday.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.